Yo, what's poppin', my guys? It is your boy Ashley, and today we are coming at you with our Week 11 match of the IBA. So this is a very important one. If we lose this match, we have no chance of going to playoffs. But if we win this match, we get the opportunity to win our game next week and make playoffs. So seeing as I'm, very new to the Draft League format, I've never been to playoffs before. That's obviously a goal here, and we have a pretty tough road to do it. First up, we have to beat Danekii, who 6-0'd us last time. And then second of all, we have to beat Eric, who, even though we won last time, is a fantastic battler. So, it's going to be a tough one, guys. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the teams here. Now, I'm not going to go too in-depth about Dan's team because he actually ended up bringing the exact same team as his first game, which is really, really nice for me. He did not see that I made transactions, and it's not like these transactions were made the week before. I made these transactions in week 8 or 9, I think, whenever the deadline was, and dropped Shaman and Escavalier for Tentacruel and Swampert. So thank God he did not bring his Kartana, because if he brought his Kartana, I only have one answer to Kartana, and that is the Infernape, which is going to be Expert Belt, Vacuum Wave, Focus Blast, Grass Knot, and Fire Blast. So basically, that kind of coverage is going to hit everything on his team. And I guess really except for the Blasphallion, but I have other answers for that mon in particular. This Infernape really is meant to come in here, get off big damage on anything that it outspeeds, which is a good bit of his team, and things like the Ninetales don't really have the raw power to take it out. So this thing is really just going to be coming in and getting kills, trying to Grass Knot the Jellicent and the Regirock, and on the switch, you know how it goes. Next up, we have our Swampert. So this is Stealth Rock, Toxic, Scald, Roar, and Damp, because Damp actually nullifies the effects of Mind Blown. So if he is Scarf or Specs Blasphallion and just decides to go for a last-ditch Mind Blown, I can get in my Swampert and get up rocks. If I already have rocks, I can hit it with the Scald, or Scald whatever wants to switch in, unless that Jellicent is still alive, in which case I can just Roar and phase him out that way. Or I can always Toxic on the switch into Jellicent, etc., etc. This Swampert is going to be a nice stop to things like the Blasphallion. If depending on what it locks itself into, it's going to be a great counter to things like the Regirock and the Jellicent, just because it has Toxic, and the Jellicent doesn't really have a whole lot it can be doing to the Swampert anyway. So we're going to go next up to Scolipede. This is Groundium Z. It has Swords Dance, Poison Jab, Earthquake, and Protect. So the reason I brought Protect on this is because if he does bring Scarf Blasphallion and I get in the Scolipede, there was the chance that he would be able to outspeed me, depending on his investment, because I can't exactly remember my speed investment. I don't have it written down. Yeah, essentially that's what it was. Just to get a free turn if I needed it, as well as scouting Scarf items, things of that nature. Also just a bluff that I was Baton Pass. Like if I could Protect on something, I don't know. You guys know how Protect works. I'm not going to patronize you like that. The Groundium Z Earthquake will take out a full health Regirock. I think it was like 80-something% of the time. So as long as I can get minimal chip on that Regirock, I can take it down with the Z Earthquake. I can take down the Jellicent depending on what level of health it is. Poison Jab is going to obliterate the Sceptile as well as the Ninetales. And yeah, I mean this Scolipede really, as it is wont to do, if it's not passing speed, it's just got coverage moves to hit everything on his team, and I'm just going to be trying to play the chip game. We have Tentacruel with Black Sludge, as well as Haze, Scald, Toxic, and Rapid Spin. This was in particular a check to a Calm Mind Keldeo or something of that nature, and he ended up not bringing it. So now the Haze is really going to be effective if he starts setting up things like Curse with Regirock, if he sets up an SD with Heracross, if he somehow gets something like a Flame Charge off with Blasphallion, things of that nature. Haze is going to be really nice just to level out those stats, even though it will get a +1, even though Blasphallion will get a +1 stat boost if it kills the Tentacruel. Like if the Tentacruel is at low enough health, it's still nice for basically clearing it out and essentially making it +1 again if that situation ever arises. It's a very, very particular situation. I don't think will happen, but it's nice to have the option. We also have our Hoopa Unbound with the Mind Plate. This is Trick Room, and unlike last week, I made sure that it had 0 speed IVs, minus speed nature, and 0 speed EV. So this is going to be underspeeding everything on his team under Trick Room, I'm fairly certain. And we're Dark Pulse, Psychic, Focus Blast with the Mind Plate, because there are some things like the Ninetales that I would not be able to OHKO without. I needed these moves in order to hit the things. Like I needed Focus Blast for Regirock, I needed Psychic for Heracross and Keldeo, I needed Dark Pulse for Jellicent and things like that. So having the Mind Plate on Psychic is really just adding a very, very powerful, accurate move to my arsenal, and I definitely needed that. So finally, we have Aerodactyl. This is Aerodactylite, obviously, because we drafted the Mega. This has Pursuit, Stone Edge, Wing Attack, and Stealth Rock. So taking advantage of forcing the switches, because things like Heracross, Blastoise, Ninetales, Sceptile, all of these things are outsped by my Aerodactyls. So we can always set up the Stealth Rocks early game on the switch and then hit them with the Pursuit later. I really, really like Pursuit on Mega Aerodactyl. I've been running it a lot more lately, and this thing it's so fast that it forces out a lot of Pokemon. So if you can get that Pursuit off and get the chip necessary, it can put in a ton of work, especially against mons. Like not exactly in this scenario, I'll go off topic a little bit, but with Regenerator, a lot of those mons getting hit by Pursuit is really, really, really nice. So even though Mega Aerodactyl doesn't really threaten a lot of those Pokemon, you know, like it doesn't really threaten Reuniclus depending on how bulky it is, and if you're packing Crunch, it really doesn't threaten Slowbro at all. But you get what I'm saying, guys. It's a nice move to use. So anyway, without further ado, we're gonna go hop ahead right into the match, as I'm going to lead Aerodactyl and he is going to lead Regirock. So here I go ahead and Mega Evolve. I did not think he would go for the Stone Edge on the first turn, so I'm just going to throw off the Stealth Rocks, as he actually does Stone Edge on the first turn and bring me down to about 19%. So that's obviously not ideal. I'm going to bounce right out into my Swampert here, as he is going to Stone Edge again. So we're actually in call at this time, just talking, you know, messing around. He actually has locked playoffs at this point. Even if I do beat him, he clinches our division pretty much. But I'm fighting for a wild card spot, so I mean that does explain why he decided to bring the same team. Here he is just going to take the Toxic, set up his Stealth Rocks as I roar him out into the Ninetales, which is really bad because I assume this thing has Freeze Dry. It's such a good move for this Pokemon, seeing as bulky waters are very popular in the format, and typically that's what you would use to counter a Pokemon like this. Here I'm just going to stay in and roar, knowing he's going to set up the Veil, and it's going to bring out the Regirock again. So just getting a little bit more toxic damage on that is really, really nice. And I believe I switched out here. I hope I switched out here because I don't want to keep racking up toxic damage. No, of course, I just Scalded, even though he has a Veil up and can't get burned. And he is just going to rest. So that is really not good, because especially he's Resto Chesto. But that does tell me that he's probably not Sleep Talk, which is really nice. He definitely could have saved that rest for later, I think. But oh well, we're going to go right here into our Tentacruel and try and spin these rocks away, as he goes straight into Ninetales. So that was not a bad. I'm not sure if we were predicting the Ninetales there. It's been a minute since I played this game, but as you're going to see, that Freeze Dry does absolutely nothing, and we're just going to spin these rocks away. Now, unfortunately, I don't have Sludge Wave on this Pokemon, but he doesn't know that, so I'm thinking that maybe he will just keep firing off Freeze Dries, as I am just going to stay in and throw off a Toxic, just getting that chip damage that I need. This is one of those Pokemon that for Hoopa to sweep in Trick Room, I really would like it to have as low of health as possible. And here I'm actually just going to go right out into Hoopa, because as you can see, that Freeze Dry is not going to do any sorts of damage whatsoever. And because I hard switched into it on this Ninetales, I think he might think that I was Scarf. So I think I just go ahead and fire off the Dark Pulse here. No, I'm going to double switch hard out into Infernape, which is a little unfortunate because he doubled out into Regirock. But as you're going to see, we were able to OHKO with the Focus Blast, which is really, really nice to hit that, because that Regirock was a huge boon to my Mega Aerodactyl, which now that rocks are away has a much more free time getting in and getting the job done. So here he's going to set up the Aura Veil, and I will still be able to take him out with Poison Jab from behind the Veil, and I figure he'll want to preserve this. So I'm just going to go ahead and Swords Dance, but as you can see, he is actually going to Freeze Dry crit me, which really, really sucks, because the health on Scolipede would have been really nice, especially since he still does have so many turns of Hail up. But now we basically are just going to be able to Poison Jab here, knock him out. The Aura Veil is useless. Like, I'm basically a neutral attack right now, so I can start putting in a good bit of work, especially since I'm going to be outspeeding everything on his team. He is going to go straight here into the Jellicent, as I am going to just protect here, try and waste a turn of this Veil, try to waste a turn of Hail. You know, I know the protect doesn't stop against hail damage, guys. I'm just trying to waste it out in general. And I'm just going to hard switch out here into Jellicent, get a little bit of leftovers recovery, because that's going to do 7%. He might get the burn, but we do have Black Sludge, which will be canceling out any of the effects of the burn, so that's not bad at all. We are going to just fire off the Toxic here, because getting this thing Toxic is really, really important, as he's just going to fire the Shadow Ball and do 14%. So, again, this is going to take a lot of those to knock me out, and yeah. There's not a whole lot I can say about that. I'm just going to go hard out into Swampert here to tank the Shadow Ball. It doesn't tank it well, but it tanks it well enough, and not too bad, not too bad. This part was kind of dumb. I just scalded on purpose. I knew, because like we were in call, obviously, guys, so like I was just messing around. I predicted him to recover there, so I just decided to scald, waste some turns. Essentially, at this point, because this is Toxic, I'm just trying to sack something off so that I can get Hoopa in. And I think that he could probably tell that, because here I actually think I go for the Rapid Spin, just joking around, as he actually goes out hard into Sceptile, because at this point I've revealed that I don't have the Sludge Wave, and that's not very good. So here I'm like, okay, well, he'll just kill me off here. I don't have anything to worry about. I can just do some more dumb stuff, and he subs up. So that is really, really bad. I just hazed to show him that I had it, because he didn't, at this point, I didn't anticipate needing it. I was low enough. I mean, I really was just trying to sack here. And, yeah, I let him get a sub up, which is not good. But thankfully, I do have the Scolipede here. I can throw off a Protect, as he is just going to go for the Depulse. And very, very nicely, I am going to be able to just knock this sub out. So here I could have gone Aerodactyl and knocked out the sub and sacked that just to keep Scolipede alive. But if I did that, then Aerodactyl would die, and he would either be able to take me out with the Dragon Pulse, because I would have to protect to outspeed him. Sorry, I would have to protect to outspeed him, and he would just be able to set up another sub. So I decided to go into Scolipede there, because he can't set up another sub when he already has a sub up. He can set up like a Swords Dance or something. I'm not sure what Sceptile gets in that realm. I know it doesn't get Nasty Plot, I'm fairly certain, but if he wanted to try and boost his defenses or something like that, he could do that, but he could not set up another substitute, and all I needed was to break it, because this Mega Aerodactyl does 100% sure outspeed any Mega Sceptile, and we are able to just come in, get off the wing attack, and knock it out. So now we are looking at 3 versus 4, and he is going to go straight here into his Jellicent. So I am going to make the double right out into my Hoopa, because I know he can't do anything to me. He's just going to recover up this turn anyway, and if he wants to Will-O-Wisp me, that's fine, because I don't think I've revealed what I have yet. And he is just going to hard switch out, letting me get up the freest Trick Room of all time. And that is pretty much going to be game. We're going to Psychic this Heracross. He cannot have a Sash because we have Rocks up. We're just going to Dark Pulse this Jellicent, and then we're going to Dark Pulse the Blastoise, and that is going to be the game. So, great game to Danekii. I obviously think that it would have been a much tougher game to win had he brought the Kartana, because we pretty much would have had to sack things off in order to get in Infernape, and even then we would have had to bank on him staying in, which is not always a safe bet. But yeah, I'm really happy with how we prepped and played this week. Again, I know that he's just trying to get done with Mons. We've talked a little bit about that. And a little bit about Duel Links as well. If you guys play Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, I just started playing that. So, you know, go ahead and hit me up. We'll get some games. I'll give you this Sylvan word. Salvin, something like that. That you know, if you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, great game to Danekii. Obviously, I would say I hope he gets to play again in the future, but I know he's taking a step back from Pokemon and won't be playing for a while. So if we ever do, it'll be a long time from now. Glad to be 1-1 in the series, though. Even though I really don't think he tried as hard as he could have here, I don't really care, because now we are still in the playoff hunt, baby. All we have to do is win our game next week versus Eric, and I think Kurt has to lose to OPJellicent, and then I think we lock. So keeping that playoff dream alive, baby. Let's go, let's go. So hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you did. Definitely go check out Danekii's channel if you haven't already. and I will see you guys next time. Peace.